Call of Duty has come a long way since COD 4. They had their ups, their downs, and some really bad moments. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over to 10 features that, for some reason, features that they got rid of along the way. This will bring a lot of you Call of Duty fans a nostalgia feeling, and this newer generation, if Black Ops 6 or even Modern Warfare were your first games, this would be interesting to watch because you will see these features that were once a mainstay in the Call of Duty franchise that are now forgotten about. And there's even some smaller features that a lot of you players that did play throughout the years might not even know about. But before we get started, take a guess on what number one's gonna be, or take a guess on what any of them are gonna be. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe before we get started, and let's get to it. Number 10, specialists and abilities. Back when Black Ops 3 was released, you had a special character. Each person did one each for each side of the team. But these specialists were just a whole new style of gaming. Each specialist had an ability that was different from anyone else. You had one guy who had 2 spikes that would slam into the ground and cause an earthquake and kill whoever's near. You had one female who had the bow and arrow, or the one with the annihilator, which now in Black Ops 6 we have as the hand cannon. These abilities were just next level. You can make game-winning plays off of each of these abilities. It was crazy. Good times, really a lot of good clips that were in the game, and these specialists, for some reason, were taken away. They were fun. Everyone enjoyed them. You know, you had a robot with a minigun coming out of his arm. Like, that was awesome. Why they got rid of them? I couldn't tell you. I don't think there was much problems with them being in the game or made it unfair since everyone was able to play each specialist on the team, but it added another style to how you played. If you were a running gunner, you would play this character. If you actually sniped, you would play this character. If you were a recon, you'd play this character. You know, it added a whole nother layer of team play and just fun. It was enjoyable as all can be. Why they got rid of it, I don't know. It could be something else that they could totally sell in the store, you know, or battle pass and make more money off of. Terrible idea, but it's crazy that they got away from this. I'm baffled. Now to number 9, Levolution. Kind of like Battlefield, they have their Levolution in-game. Call of Duty actually attempted this with Call of Duty Ghost and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Ghost, you were able to blow something up and it would change the level a bit, or shoot something and a satellite would crash and totally change the map, or call in the chem strike and destroy the whole map and change it up entirely. These were fun. It made no game the same exact match. The maps are totally different each time. It added another level of fun and enjoyment, you know, just something extra. Instead of the same old map every time, you could change it up. Ghost attempted this with the sabotage perk. You're running inside of a building, gas starts filling up the entire building. What's going on? It was fun. It was cool. It was enjoyable. Advanced Warfare attempted this. You could have it to where the water would flood a certain area. It would be land down below at one time, and then water would just surge, and now you could swim in the map.
Tsunami warning. Beware of changing tide.
Don't let them fool you. Swimming is not new to Modern Warfare, even though I know they made that a big selling point of their game. Oh, you could swim with the fishes. Swimming has been around for a while, newer gamers. It was still fun as all can be. Why they got rid of this, I don't know. I couldn't see it being too hard, but it keeps the maps, it keeps them with a breath of fresh air. But with these newer maps, it should be super easy to add this Levolution feature to keep each match totally different than the last. This is a feature I don't know why I got rid of, but they did. And it's honestly saddening to say. But now we're going to number 8. Number 8 are wager matches. You know, you had COD points back in the old Black Ops days. And wager matches were a way for you to bet, or air quotations, gamble. Even though you never paid for any of these points were gained by leveling, or you could be in the wager match and actually win more playing those matches. These matches were to test your mettle, you know, to give you the right to brag. You could play in a match, bet some points, and win and gain these points back with extra, or lose it all. The points back then were used to actually unlock weapons, perks, all this other stuff. It was a good leveling system back then. It was fun. It made you actually think about it as you progress through the game. And the matches that you played were like One in the Chamber, Sticks and Stones, Gun Game. It was all party games, but they were fun. It gave you a reason to want to jump back in and play and beat this team, or if someone beats you, you want to go back in and beat him, you know, and get your points back. Or, you know, it just gave you a goal to work to. It was enjoyable as hell. I'm thinking they took it away because of the gambling aspect, or maybe it was just too much to incorporate with the newer CODs. It hasn't been around for years, but it is something I wish that did return. You know, the wager matches were just fun, and even the game modes inside the wager matches were great. and they still haven't returned. One in the chamber, stuff like that just still hasn't returned over the years. They're missing out on a lot. I wish Call of Duty went back to being fun again. For real. Now we're on to number 7, the Perk Pro system. Perks nowadays, you can't level them up. You use them, you unlock emblem, whatever, you know. There's not much thinking to them. But back in the day, when you had a perk and you used it over a certain amount of time, it actually upgraded to a pro version. Like Marathon actually turned into Marathon Pro after sprinting 30 miles or stuff like that. It would give you an extra benefit. And if you continue that, it would unlock an emblem that you could use later on just to show it off. It was cool. It was an interesting take on things. It made it feel like that your loadout, your kit was actually evolving as you played and got better. I could see it being not fair in the beginning matches. You know, this might be why they took it away, because early on the better players would be higher level with better perks, and it would be an unfair advantage. I get that. It's a part of Call of Duty though. You have to actually come from the bottom and move your way up. You have to get better. You know, not with all this SBMM where, you know, things have to be a certain way and matches have to go. That's too much. You know, this perk upgrade system, you know, Commando Pro. I guarantee a lot of you old timers have a lot of nightmares or a lot of fun times, depending on what side of the knife you were on back in the day. It just changed the game. It was an enjoyable experience, and the Perk Pro system just added another layer upon your loadout that you could actually go ahead and unlock. You know, and it actually did something. It wasn't just for show, and it was a great time. But nevertheless, it hasn't come back around. I don't know why. I wish I did, but that's fine. But that's why it's at number 7. Number 6, specialists instead of kill streaks. Back in the Modern Warfare days, we were able to take kill streaks, turn them off, and turn it into specialists. Specialists was an awesome feature they had at the time. This allowed us to gain perks as we got kills. And by the time you hit 8 kills, you unlocked every perk. Honestly, it made you a literal god running around the map. With kill streaks, you might only get 3 or 4 kills, helicopter gets shot down really quick, done for. But with specialists, the killing was up to you. It created for players who were more in tune with their skills to actually play with the gun instead of calling these helis in to do all the work. It made it to where it focused on the player itself. That's it. The player itself is what made this work. And if you were good, you got better. And if you were bad, you didn't really run this. You ran lower kill streaks and got those from time to time. But this just made it, opened up a whole new battlefield for yourself. It made you to where you can run into a tank and feel confident you would survive. You know, it was just that overpowered. You know, good players really took advantage of this at the time, got taken away, and we don't know why. There's no harm, and if they brought them back, they'd fit right into the game easily. So I don't understand why they don't bring it back. I haven't understood why it hasn't come back in so many years, especially going over more Modern Warfare titles. Number 5. Now, this one is very controversial. The loot boxes. Yeah, I said it. It's number 5 on the list for a reason, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out for a second. Back in Advanced Warfare, there were these loot boxes, right? You opened up, you got gear, you got named weapons that were pretty awesome. You know, the Baus, Obsidian Steed, stuff like that. It was just cool. Loot boxes were a big thing going from Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, and so on and so on. So loot boxes were a random item that you could acquire through the game just playing. You never had to purchase anything. It was just something that each match or after a certain amount of points, you would actually gain and be able to open and get random loot. Whether it was equipment for your player or it was a new weapon or emblem or any of that stuff. It was cool because with this came all the customizing of your character. You know, we have all these skins nowadays that are just bland and the same thing. Everyone's running this, you got a whole team of 12 running the same skin. Yeah, it's not that crazy. But back then you can customize each individual part of your character. It was fun. It was your personalized character, how you want it, and you didn't have to spend money. This feature though was taken out because of the quote unquote gambling issue. But the problem here is you didn't actually need to pay to get these loot boxes. The amount of gear you can acquire was just infinite. You know, you can unlock everything with the loot boxes if you just played enough. So why didn't this stay in the game? Because people were buying, and younger generation, you know, younger people were buying a lot of loot boxes at the time. How is that different than the store having $20, $25 items nowadays, or the battle pass with Black Cell? Not sure, to be honest. You know, I'm thinking Black Cell over time actually probably costs a lot more than what the normal person would spend on loot boxes. But that's beside the point. Loot boxes were taken away because of the gambling aspect, but sure as hell, when they were here, it was fun. It kept everything, you know, unlocking a new item made you just want to keep going. You know, a new armor piece, you know, you wanted to complete the set. You know, more experience on this item or anything like that. It was a cool system they had, but you know, like I said, you didn't have to pay for it. It was all free if you just wanted to play. And I see why it hasn't come back, but I sure do wish it made its way back. It was a fun time, you know. I miss it. I really do. All right. You hear me out, you movement gods. Number 4, this one is up in the air. I miss it personally. It created a new direction that Call of Duty started moving in, and it's actually a good thing that this happened, to where without it, I don't think we'd be at where we're now. But number 4, I have jetpacks. Jetpacks were a huge thing coming out in Advanced Warfare. It allowed you to double jump, it allowed you to dash to the side, it allowed you to get angles on people that would never have happened any other way. Besides that, the games following Advanced Warfare, like Black Ops 4, took the jetpack one step further. Black Ops 4 allowed wall running. The movement, you think movement now with Omni movement is crazy and out of this world. You should have been there for Black Ops 4. It was just insane, intense movement across the map. You could literally get from one side of the map to the other without ever touching the ground. But I think jetpacks were a huge deal to the movement. I think now we have movement the way we do because it stemmed from them trying to change the whole entirety of movement, which people didn't like. I loved the hell out of it. It was fun. It was totally new. They were actually trying new things. People wanted the boots on the ground, and that's where it came back to this. And now people are back to complaining about slide canceling, bunny hopping, all this. No one's ever happy the way it is, but jetpacks were, you know, new to everyone, so no one had the advantage. It was a good time. Getting a no scope from a 360 midair double jump side dash, whatever, YY, and it was cool. And that's why I think jetpacks are, you know, number 4 on this list, because they actually had a lot to do with the movement of where we're at. And people realized that they like boots on the ground more. So I guess Call of Duty just doubled down. I miss the jetpacks. I miss the movement style, the play style, verticality, all that. That's why it's number 4 on my list. Now we're going to get down to number 3. Yeah, top 3 here. I wonder if you guessed any of these right this far. Number 3, persistent lobbies. Now, back in some of the older CODs, you could actually play a match and have one of your friends join on the other team, which that doesn't really ever happen anymore. It's almost impossible to get on the other team. Have them join the other team. You know, if you got a full 6 persons on one side, you could have them join the other team, play that match, finish the match, and just let it roll. And it would continue to keep the people in the game. They weren't kicking you out. The reason they're kicking you out nowadays is because SBMM is readjusting your score to line you up with a lobby that actually works with the EOMM algorithm that Call of Duty has put in place nowadays. That's why persistent lobbies aren't around. It's an obvious sign that, yes, they're trying to keep EOMM max and force you into matches that they want. But back in the day, persistent lobbies allowed you to play the same match. Let's say you got beat by this other team of 6 and you wanted a rematch, you know, GG, bro, you know, get good. You know, you were able to come back into the match, let it load out, let it come back in, and you would still be against these same 6 people. It created for either arch rivals, or if you just really enjoyed the other team, it would keep playing with them. The matches weren't as sweaty, or they could be, but it was your choice. It made for a whole new world of things. You could even get 12 people into a lobby, all on your side, you know, all on your team, all your friends, 6 friends against 6 friends in an online match. Why Activision didn't enjoy this, I don't know. But if you ever played a 6v6 in an online match, all your friends, it was some of the best times there were. You know, you could have 6 of your teammates playing against, you know, you could just BS with each other and who's better. You know, it was the actual test of who was better out of your group of friends, you know, and you can keep that lobby rolling while leveling up, gaining experience and all this. It's just, why get rid of that? I think that's what Call of Duty really came from. You know, it's supposed to be a community. You would stay hours and hours without some crazy algorithm telling you how to play. You know, I just think Call of Duty is getting too far into themselves that instead of letting the community kind of do what they want to do, they're forcing so much upon you. And that's why persistent lobbies are in the top 3. That's where a lot of rivalry started. That's where a lot of friendship started. And that's just where the good times were. That's number 3. Wish they never got rid of it. So let's get down to number 2. Oh, number 2, I miss you. There were a lot of sleepless nights on the weekends. Number 2 is the Clan Wars from Advanced Warfare. They had a whole app system for this. You would get a clan, you and your friends, and based on the size of your clan, you would go up against enemies in other clans over the weekends. There would be events. You could see who has taken what strategic spot. You could, you would force you into a game mode that maybe you don't play often, but you would explore it so you can actually take this spot over. And as you conquered more and more areas, it was a way of bragging, but as you conquered more areas, you would actually gain more experience, it'd give you XP boost in certain game modes like Kill Confirmed or something if you own these spots. The clan app was it was amazing. There's nothing in Call of Duty I think thus far has made me want to play for so many hours on end. It was a challenge. Your clan had to be better than the others, and it was real time. You would play, you'd get your score up, and then they'd come in and try and take it from you, and then you'd be there to defend it and take it back. You fall asleep, wake up, the whole map changed, so now you're hurry up and trying to take them all back. It was a thrill. You want to talk about a community. Why this is gone, I could not tell you. There is zero reasons that this should be gone. This should 100% be brought back. And if you haven't experienced this, trust me, it was some of the best times I've had in COD. It gave me a reason to play and a reason to be the best. There's so much more I want to say about the clan wars. A clan meant something, not just some letters, which it is now. Now it's just letters. There's, people are just putting random characters in there to be funny. This was the reason you were in a clan. Almost as much as I miss number one. Number one. This is probably the most controversial one of all. This is where young teenagers found out they were artists, or at least artists in their own minds. Custom emblems. Yeah, you heard that right. These emblems nowadays that you have to buy or unlock doing some challenge. We used to make these. These were the epitome of artistic freedom. COD gave us tools with bare minimum. And look at all these emblems that were created just from teenagers and adults of the like. We created some awesome images, some awesome pictures. It would stand out. You would want to give your friend your account so they can make you an image, or you'd upload it and get likes. You had Pikachus, you had South Park characters. Unfortunately, all good things had to come to an end. This one out of all, I wish came back, but this one out of all, I see why they kept it away. Some people just took it too far. Unfortunately, where there's good, there's also bad, and the bad was just too much. There were many racially charged emblems, many just downright dirty emblems that, unfortunately, I agree with Call of Duty on this one. I usually don't, but I do agree with them on this one, that it should be gone. I wish there was a way to actually, maybe you create an emblem and it goes through some kind of system that actually verifies whether it's good or bad, and we can go that way. That would be a fix, I think, some kind of process before you actually got it. But those times were, like I said, artistic expression, people found out skills they never knew they had, and it would set you apart from everyone else. You could have literally a one-of-a-kind emblem that no one else has until they figured out how to make it. That's why it's number one. It was cool. It was, our artistic ability shined. It was an enjoyable time that we could play, we can do in the game without actually having to sweat and play the game. This was my top 10 list of features in Call of Duty that disappeared over the years. I wish most of these were still around, if not all, but some of them, like I said, I do see why they're not here. So if any of your guesses were anywhere close, let me know. Comment down below, say, I had 3 of them or I had 2. But beyond that, I'm glad to make this video for you guys. Like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one. Peace.